Om Sadashiva-Samārambhāṃ Shankaracharya-Madhyamāṃ Asmadacharya-Paryantāṃ Vande Guru-Paraṁparāम्. Shruti-smriti-purāṇānaṁ Ālayam Karuణālayam Namāmi Bhagavad-pāda Shankaram Loka-Shankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarāyanam Sutra Bhashya-kritau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punaha. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Yes.
From verse 5, right?
Yeah.
Om Shri Paramatmane Namaha Atha Chaturthodhyayaha Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Bahuni me vyatitani Janmani tava charjuna Nanyahau Veda Sarvani Natvam Veda Parantapa Ajopi Sanna Vyavyatma Bhutanamishwaropi San Prakritim Swamadhishtaya Sambhavam Yatma Mayaya Yada Yada Hi Dharmasya Glanirбhavati Bharata Abhyutthanamadarmasya Tadatmanam Srijamyaham Paritranaya Sadhunam Vinashaya Cha Dushkritam Dharma Samsthapanarthaya Sambhavami Yuge Yuge Janma Karma Cha Me Divyam Evaiyo Veti Tattvataha Tyaktva Deham Punarjanma Naiti Mameti Sojuna Vitaraga Bhaya Krodhaha Manmaya Mamupashritaha Bahavo Jnana Tapasa Bhuta Madbhavamagataha.
Very good. Thank you. So, welcome everyone, and we are continuing with chapter 4, Jnana Karma Sannyasa Yoga, and we are now seeing 5th verse onwards what Krishna is answering to Arjun on his doubt. Please be on time. Requesting everyone once again, if you're joining, please be on time. Some of us are persistently joining late. That's, you have the option of then listening on other medias. But here I'd prefer be on time. 2 minutes early is better than late. So Krishna is answering Arjuna's doubt, and we have finished seeing the bhashyam of how is it possible for Krishna to have given the knowledge, this profound rahasyam to Surya Dev, and how is it a parampara that's come down. And here to Arjun also, Krishna says, I am only giving this to you also, and I only gave this to him. Now, here lies a very interesting topic for those who would like to know more. It opens up a lot of questions. Arjun's represented one of them. So we saw through the Bhashyam that Shankara's given for these verses, 5th, 6th, and 7th in particular, whereby Krishna says, I remain changeless and I am not born the way Jiva is born. With my own Maya Shakti, Aham Sambhavami, again and again, Yuge Yuge. Why do you come? Reinstate Dharma and destroy those elements who are affecting, who are adharmic. For that reason, I come. Here I said that the topic of Ishvara can be unfolded here. With the help of Madhusudan Saraswati ji's Bhashya. So I am just going to take as best as possible, superficially, keeping our own understandings, and I hope you follow it. If in case you're not, we'll take up clarifications also later. But fifth verse, the ones marked in blue highlight are words from the verse itself, from the Moolam, and yellow is the important point, which highlights more depth into what we have understood so far. So he said here, Shri Bhagavanu Vacha, Bahuni me vyatitani, my many births have passed. Janmani tava, yours also, births, O Arjuna, and your births also. Tani aham, all those. Ved, I know. Sarvani, in every way, and everyone's, not just yours and mine, all jivas. I know all about those janmas. Nat tvam vetha, but you do not know. O Parantapa. As I'll try and be as slow as possible. Madhusudanji writes here, Janman means what? Leela Deha Grahanani. Grahanani, Grahan Karna. Kisko? Grahan Karna means to take up, to take on. What? Deha, body. For what purpose? Leela. So, what is Krishna's, when he says, I have taken many births, Madhusudanji writes here by adding Leela Deha Grahanani, for the sake of Leela. What is this Leela? Loka Drishti Abhiprayena. As seen in the world, Loka Drishti, as is Abhiprayena, as is inferred, as is seen in the world. What? Aditya Asya Udaya Udayavat Me. Me is again Moolam. Aditya, Aditasya Udayam, sorry, I'm doing it. Aditasya Udayavat me. Aditya is sun. Udaya is rise. Vat means like. Like the world sees the sun rise. Beautiful example, I thought, which can highlight Ishvara's birth. As we see sun rising in the world and sun setting in the world, we all know there is no actual sunrise and actual sunset. But our perception of sun rising and sun setting, iva, like that. Lokadrishti, as the world sees sun rising and sunset, so too they see my birth. I they see me taking a body, worth reflecting. They see me taking a body as they see the sunrise and sun setting. May is in the verse, mama, mine, my births. Bahuni vyatitani, tavacha, all in the verse. Who is that tavacha? Bahuni vyatitani is, as we have just said, many people come and go. There are many people who are bahuni vyatitan. Many births have come and gone. Tavacha and also yours. Agyaninaha. Who's yours? Agyani. Who's agyani? Jivas. What is it that is a characteristic of these agyani? Karma architani. Deha grahanani. How do they get a birth? They acquire a birth based on the collection of their karma, based on what karmas they have collected. So, the first line is interesting. As the world sees the sunrise and sunsetting, so too the world sees me having taken a body, and it is different from how people are born, how they take the body. They take the body based on their collection of their own karmas, karma phala. Tava chet, tava, yours. Cha iti upalakshanam itaresham api. Jivana, tava, yours. Cha. By saying tava cha, it is upalakshanam. Upalakshanam means it is representative of what? Itaresham api. Of all these jivanam, of all these jivas also. Jiva aikya abhiprayena va, or you can take it as oneness with people. Means, in essence, these two lines have said everyone. Tavacha, when Krishna says, it is just an upalakshanam for all the jivas. The aikya of all the jivas. Same, every jiva is born based on the collection of their karma. Hey Arjuna, that is here Arjun, that's a Sambodhan. So, hey Arjun, Shleshena Arjuna Vriksha Namna. Shleshena is one of the, here he explains, is one of the ways in which a word is used to mean two things. You speak one word, but it will have two meanings. एक बार उच्चारित जो शब्द अनेक अर्थ को बोधक है. You say the word once, but it indicates various meanings. it can have more than one meaning other than the word what is popularly understood. That is called Shlesha. So here the word is Arjun. He says Arjun word has a Shlesha, is a Shlesha. With what? Vraksha Vishesha. It also means a tree. I had brought an image of a tree. Let me quickly. I did. Arjun is also a kind of a tree. Ah, here it. No, I don't. I did. Okay. Arjun is also kind of a tree. The tree is huge. It is ghana. It is dense. Here it is. I'll share this. Can you see the tree? Ah, you can. Just Googled it. See the greenness of it, you know, the denseness of it. What is the meaning of that? The meaning is where am I? Yeah. The meaning is Arjun word is also a meaning of a tree, a kind of a tree which is very dense that it hides things inside. You can't see clearly because it's very filled up. It's huge and it's filled up. So it tends to cover up. You can't see clearly the birds inside. You can't see through clearly. It's That's the meaning that Madhusudan ji is going to express upon. A certain meaning can be taken just as a vriksha is inert. Here he is trying to say the buddhi is inert for us. So that inertness is one of the lakshanas. But preferable that goes along with the bhashyam also is that it is so dense that it hides, conceals what is inside. So he says, Arjun word is a shleshena, by shlesha. It's a shlesha. By shlesha, it is also another name of a tree. Vriksha namna. Sambodhayan. By giving the Sambodhan Arjun in the words, uh, Avrita Jnanatvam Suchayati. It is pointing to Suchayati. It shows. What does it show? Avritam, covering up. Avrita. What does it cover up? Jnanam. So Arjun word is through the Shlesha, and that's a whole parampara also, and there is a praman there to say why Shlesha is taken as a meaning. It is not off the cuff. It is not author's independent interpretation that Madhusudanji is giving. It is based on certain pramanas of other shastras from which he is able to arrive to this meaning. So that ghanapan, that denseness, is saying knowledge is covered, gyan is covered. Therefore, so what happens? Tani. What tani? Janmani. All yours, births. Aham, I, who is a sarvagnaha. I, aham, and he's representing himself. He's saying himself. He's saying. Madhusudanji is saying to Krishna. Krishna says aham. When he says aham, what does he mean? Sarvagnaha. And what else is Sarvagnaha? Sarva Shakti. Sarva Shakti is the Maya Shakti, his own Maya Shakti. So he's Sarvagnya, he's Sarva Shakti. Who's he? Ishvaraha. Aham Sarvagnyah, Sarvashakti, Ishwaraha, Veda. In the Moolam, Janami. Ved means I know. Janami means I know. Sarvani. In the Moolam, Madiyani. Twadiyani. Anyat. Anyadiyani. Uh, Anyadiyani. So Madiyani, mine, Twadiyani, Anyadiyani. For all of them, I know the birds. Natvam, you do not know. Why? Agnaha. Gnaha, knower. Agnaha, does not know. Non-knower. Who is he? Why? Jivaha. Who is this Agnaha? He is Jivaha. He is a Jiva. Because his knowledge is Alpagnya. Ishvara is Sarvagnya. He knows it all. Jiva is Alpagnya. Alpa means small, little. Kam janne wala. He knows less. That Jiva, Tiro Bhuta Jnana Shakti. Tiro Bhuta, less, of less nature, inferior nature. Tiro Bhut, come, inferior. Tiro Bhuta Jnana Shakti. Because his capacity to know is inferior, is less. Therefore, Vetha na janasi. They cannot know. Because Jiva's capacity to know by their upadhi itself is tiraha, is less, is inferior. Therefore, they are alpagnaha. They do not know. And that alpagnatvam is an indication that you are a jiva. Whereas I am sarvagnya, sarvashakti, ishwaraha. So, but obvious, I am different from you. My Shakti is not limited by the Upadhi. My Janam is not based on karma and karma phal that I have to experience. Therefore, I know it and you do not know. He Parantapa, that is again the meaning verse has the word. Parantapa means again, Madhusudanji says, Param Shatrum. Somebody else is other than me. You are other than me. Para, separate from me. I have a Bheda Buddhi. That Bheda Drishtaya that I have, because of which I say Shatrum, that Shatru hai wo. He is an enemy. That division that I have of me and you, I and yours, the division that I have because of that sense of division, who has the sense of division? Who has Alpagnyaha? Who is an Alpagnya? Who has less, who has limited knowledge? The one whose knowledge is limited. Why is it limited? Upadhi is limited. Their functions are limited. The capacity to know, the buddhi cannot travel beyond a point. It can, all those discussions will be hopefully coming forward. Because of that, that Shatru Bheda that you have, they are different from me. Parikalpya, because you can do this kalpana, this division that you are seeing, because of which you are able to say that this is my Shatru, Hantum Pravrittaha Asi iti. You are able to kill someone. You get into the action of killing. Hantum Pravrittaha Asi iti. Viprita Darshitvat. Prantaha Asi iti Suchayati. There is a Viprita Jnanam. You are seeing something that is not there, you are seeing it as opposite. So being there, That Parantapa word is already indicating Suchayati. It is already giving us the indication that there is Viprita Darshan. Means you are able to see the other. Tat anena sambodhana dvayena avarna vikshepau dvau api jnana dharmau darshitau. By these two names that Krishna has called Arjun, by the word Arjun, he has indicated avarana of the mind. Avarna of the mind, and by the word Parantapa, he has indicated Vikshepa, because to see the other, you will have Vikshepa. Both of them are Ajnana Dharma Darshitaha. They are signs of, they are effects of Ajnan. Ajnan ka dharam hai ye. Like last class I said, left hand side school and right hand side school. We did the left hand side in a way. Bhashyam is direct, so I will not put it into any side. It is straight from the Bhashyam we have studied. There is no more, no less, no overreading, as is. But this side of the school, Madhusudan ji has pointed the words here which have come. What are the words? He says, Avar Antakaranam, Jiva's Antakaranam, which has the Deha Abhiman, which has the Deha Buddhi, which has the sense of limited knowledge, that is avidya, and that avidya has a lakshana of avarna and vikshepa. And these two Krishna is giving by calling him Arjuna and Parantapa. Avarna means it is completely concealing your Atma Vidya, and Vikshepa means it is keeping you distracted in the realm of objects and people, world. Both of these are avidya lakshana, ajnana dharma, they are. Now there is a question that comes. Fifth verse is over. Now before the sixth verse, and what is the sixth verse? Ajaha api san avyayatma bhutanam ishvaraha api san prakritim swamadhishthaya sambhavami atma mayaya. Viparita darshanam means for a buddhi which has vikshepa. Because of vikshepa, he is seeing the other on whom he can impose shatru bhava. That is viparit darshan, seeing him as an enemy. So the one who already has a viparit bhav, this is extended to say that is your vikshepa shakti, and that is the reason why you do not have knowledge of your previous births, because you are now having faculty limited faculty. So before the sixth verse, here Madhusudan ji is giving us an introduction, sambandha bhashyam between fifth and sixth, connecting to the next verse. Nanu means someone can say, someone can put an objection. When Bhagwan says, I am Sarvagnya, that is the first doubt Arjun has put up. How can you be Sarvagnya? Because I know you with a limited body. I know you as born in Vasudev's home. You are born here now. So, as person who's born here in our lifetime, we do not remember our past births. So, how do you remember? Also, if you say you remember your past births, then that means this body is not like our body, because in this body we don't remember. So either your body has to be explained, What is the nature of your body? Because in a human body, we don't have the faculty to remember our past births. And if you say you are Sarvagnya, then again, this body cannot be Sarvagnya. So, how do you get a body if you're a Sarvagnya? How are you born here? So, these two doubts is what Bhagwan is answering to Arjun. But someone can say in between that there are many jivas who kind of are special people who have remember certain things of their past lives. Like he says here, Nanu means talking about those people. Atita aneka janmavatvam, with reference to past many births. Atmanaha smarasi chet. If you remember them, he remembers, Krishna remembers. Means if you remember Mr. Krishna standing in front of Arjun, somebody can say, but if he remembers them, then who is he? Tarhi, even then. Jati smaraha, jivahatvam. You are still a jiva. But what kind of a jiva? Jati smaraha. A special kind of a jiva who, I've forgotten. Okay, he's going to bring her. Jati Smara is a special kind of a, also, but a jiva only, who can still remember the past. Parajanma jnanam api yogina. So you can still be a jiva who is a jati smara, remembers, or you are a special kind of a yogi, yoginaha, who also by their own sarva atmiya abhimanena, by having oneness with all the atmas through their yoga practice. They have identification with all jivas by their practice of yoga. They have attained a special siddhi. Parajanma jnanam api. They can also know parajanma. So you don't have to be an Ishvara to know everything. With reference to past janmas, we have special cases, we have special individuals who are able to remember, and they are called jati smaraha. They can remember. Or you can be a special yogi who also identifying with all jivas can remember, because your identification is so strong with everyone. By your practice, you have dissolved your ego and you have a sarva atma abhimana. Abhiman means having the um, identification of oneness with everyone. Abhiman hai, not proud, not pride as in English, but owning up. You know, Abhiman in here in that sense, owning up all the jivas as me. I am only there in all forms. You have done that. Who is that? He gives an example of such a person. Shastra drishtya tu upadesho vamadevavat iti nyayena sambhavati. In Brahma Sutra, Shankara brings up this. There is a particular prakarana, adhikaranam, that comes in the first chapter, 30th Sutra, first part, 30th. I brought it here. Here. Uh, uh, just at the end of the first chapter, first part, Shastra Drishtya tu Upadesho Vamadevavat. These are all Brahma Sutras, Moolam. So here, Madhusudanji is picking that up. And who's a Vamadev? He's a Rishi. He's a Rishi who is, I think, um, he's mentioned a lot in Brihadaranyaka and in Aitreya Upanishad. And he has a lot of mandalas in Rigved on him. I mean, he has composed them. He's a Rishi. So that Rishi, Vamadeva, is the Rishi. Like Vamadevavat, as Vamadeva, Shastra Drishtya tu Upadesho. He says in that Shastra, there is a whole analysis there. Skipping that, he says, Aham Manuhu Abhavam. Vamadev says, the story is that while he was still in the womb, when he came out, he said these words. He, uh, he got Atma Vidya in the womb itself. So when he comes out, he proclaims. What does he proclaim? Aham Manuhu Abhavam. I was Manu in the past. Suryaha cha aham. I was also the Surya. Kakshivan Rishi Asmi. And now I am a Rishi. Vipraha. I know that I was a Manu before. I was Surya. I was Kakshivan. I am Kakshivan Rishi now. I am a Rishi now. I know this. Ityadi Shatyayam. This is a particular shakha of Rigved. Shatyayam is referring to a shakha of Rigved. In Rigved is this quotation made, and Shankara brings this quotation up in a particular analysis in Brahma Sutra, and Madhusudanji is bringing it here to bring an objection to Sarvajñatvam only with Ishvara, and it is not possible anywhere else. To give us that clarity that Sarvajñatvam is only possible in Maya Upadhi, Karana Upadhi, Samashti Karana Upadhi, and nowhere else, that argument is put forward as an opposition that no, after all, Vamadev, like also, they have proclaimed I was that means they also remember, but they are not Ishvara. He says, I'm a Rishi. He's not Ishvara. So they can also remember. So Krishna can also remember. Why do you have to put Ishvaratvam in Krishna? So that objection can be brought up. Am I clear? Because it's very important. I always feel when I say Nanu, I need to verify if it's got clear. Is it clear?
Yes, Triptiji.
Clear? Okay. Others are not there? Is anybody not clear? It's a little, I'm trying to go as slow and I'm hoping that it is followable.
Diptiji, the Parantapa part, I was not able to. I mean, it's just I wasn't able to understand the
Okay. Parantapa, by the word Parantapa, means the one who scorches the enemy. Para. Tapata hai par ko. Par means the division, the sense of division. He is my Shatru. That is why he is able to scorch them. That he is able to scorch them, he is able to kill them, Hantum. He is able to kill them. Therefore, extrapolating it from there, it is only possible if you have a Bheda Buddhi. And that you are able to transfer the Shatrutvam on someone else means there is Vikshepa already there. So you are an Agyani. Avarna was given through Arjun's name, indicating it Shlesha by the tree, which can have, same word can have Arjun as representing Arjun Panda, and Arjun can also mean the tree. And if it's taken as a tree, then it means Avarna, hiding, concealing your Gyan, and Parantapa means Vikshepa. Avarna and Vikshepa are both signs of avidya.
Okay, so the purpose was to show that Arjun is an Agyani.
Yeah. Our purpose is not to show that Arjun is an Agyani. Purpose is now building up. Just by saying over there, these two, he said, okay, you can say, it's not the purpose, but an Agyani, because of Avarna and Vikshepa, does not have Samyak Jnanam, does not have Sarvajñatva.
So it's a comparison with a person who has everything, like with Bhagwan. By I mean by like Bhagwan's qualities, where you're saying that he has all the qualities, while the human lacks in those qualities.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's the contrast is being shown here.
So that's the thing to all the jivas.
To all the jivas, absolutely. As you keep here, yeah, fine. Further, more clarity will also get added as we keep repeating. It may need a repetition or two. It is subtle, but no worries. We are here. We can go on repeating till it's clear. Okay, so far now got it. Anisha's also got it. So everyone's got it. I'll move forward then. Because now this is one part of the jiva. Who? That jiva who is called a jati smaraha, or a yogi who's got identification with all atmas, can also proclaim that I remember. Example taken, Vamadeva, a Rishi Vamadev, who the minute he came out of the womb proclaimed that I was Manu. Manu means the one from whom all Manav clan has come, the ruler, immediate ruler of this Manvantra is Manu. I was a Manu means at the very creation of this Manvantra, I was there, and Suryaha Aham, I am, and now I am this Rishi. I know it. Therefore, what is the conclusion? Krishna, why are you calling him as Sarvagnya Ishwaraha? That only with Ishwara, Sarvagnyatvam can be possible only in Ishwara. I'm going to repeat this because anybody who gets clicked with this, you are sailing through most of the times because your connection with Ishvara cannot be shaken. Sarvagnyatvam can only be with Ishvara. That is doubtless through this portion of the Bhashyam. Therefore, this is still a nanu, means it's still an objection. It's not an answer. It's not siddhant. It is an objection. There are other examples who also know. Then why are you calling Krishna as Ishvara? भगवान क्यों कह रहे हो? उनको सर्वज्ञत्व की कहने की जरूरत नहीं है, क्योंकि और एग्जाम्पल हैं हमारे शास्त्र में which also point to the fact that they say I remember my past birth, etc. Attaha. So this is the conclusion. Attaha. Therefore. Therefore what? Ataha means therefore. Eva, therefore, in this manner, na mukhyaha sarvagnyatvam. Mukhya sarvagnyatvam nahi hai. In whom? In Ishvara. Remember the word mukhya sarvagnya. Mukhya sarvagnya means primary. Primarily, sarvagnyatvam is not there. Ataha. There is nothing called, there is no primary sarvagnyatvam with Ishvara. तथा च कथम आदित्यम सर्वज्ञम उपदिष्टवानस्य अनीश्वरः सन. Then how, as an Anishwara, could you have given this knowledge to that Aditya who's a Sarvagnya? So if you are like Vamadeva type of a knower, then you are Anishwar. You know all the births, but you're not Ishwar. So how did you then give this to Aditya, who was right from the beginning of creation? And now comes another beautiful conclusion, which is our consolidation. If you forget all this, no worries. This is now going to be the logic presented forward. Na, answer is here. He, indeed. Jivasya mukhyam sarvagnyam sambhavati. He's giving a logic why. He says because with jiva, as jiva, even if it is like Vamadev, who remembers the past, even if it is jati smaraha, special kind of a yogi, even if there is, even then, they being jiva, they don't have mukhya sarvagnyatvam. As a jivasya, jeev ko mukhyam sarvagnyam sambhavati na. Not possible. Na sambhavati. Not possible. What? Mukhya sarvagnyam. Primarily remaining sarvagnya is not possible in a jiva. Why? Vyashti upadhehe. Because their upadhi is vyashti. Vyashti means limited, individual, microcosm, single, head to toe. This cross body, in which antakaranam, etc. This is vyashti upadhi. My sthula sharir, my sukshma sharir, because coming from my karan, that minus is vyashti upadhi. Because of vyashti upadhi, mukhya sarvajnatvam is not possible in a jiva. I'm repeating the sentence. Because of vyashti upadhi, individual frame, having an individual frame, mukhya sarvajnatvam means absolute, let me call it absolute sarvajnatvam. Mukhya, instead of primary, let's call it absolute. Absolute sarvajnatvam na sambhavati, is not possible. What is the reason? Why is it not possible for a jiva to have absolute sarvajnatvam? Because upadhi is vyashti. With my eyes, I can only see color and form. With my ears, I can only hear sound. I can't see a particular range of light. I can't hear a particular range of sound. When the sound goes out of that frequency, a human ear cannot hear. In the same way, when I acquire a body because of my karma phal, there is a vyashti upadhi. This upadhi has a limitation. And being a limitation, parichinnattvena, limited to what the faculties can be there in this combination of five elements, which is your human body, parichinnam. They limit my knowledge. My eyes will only see color and form. They will not see anything else. My ears are only listening to a particular frequency of sound. They cannot listen above and below that sound. Whereas there are other animals who will listen to sounds above that frequency, below that frequency. Every upadhi is distinct. Every form of life is distinct as we see, and the way they gather their knowledge is unique to their species. So, how we gather our knowledge is unique to our species. In the same way, how everyone, animals gather in their own upadhi, birds gather in their own upadhi, ants gather in their own upadhi. They all have limited knowledge according to the upadhi in which they find themselves. So parichinnattvena, because our capacity itself is limited by the upadhi, sarva sambandhi, sarva sambandhitva abhava. It is not possible to have a sambandh with. Sarva means all connection, all pervasive connection. It is not possible. If you say, so as a jiva, sarvajnatvam is out. Absolute sarvajnatvam is not possible for a jiva. Whom are we addressing? I'm returning back to the question, Arjuna's question. What is the doubt? You are born here. You are a jiva. Jiva has, now we have established, jiva has only parichinnatva, is limited. So, cannot have absolute sarvajnatva. Establish that much. So, sarva sambandhatva abhava, you cannot have total connection. Not possible. So, if you don't have total connection, you can't have total knowledge. If you are a samashti upadhi, so in one of the previous classes, we said our standpoints. In this chapter only, I said in one of our previous classes, our standpoint in Vedanta is always from two levels, from vyashti or from samashti, from individual or from totality, from relative, vyavharik, or from paramarthik. You have to decide which standpoint is the point being conveyed from. You have to know the standpoint from which it's conveyed. So, from vyashti standpoint, Sarvajnatvam, absolute, is not possible. He is now analyzing, okay, Samashti Upadhi. If there is a Samashti Upadhi Bhagwan has, this body of Krishna is, Samashti means totality. The individual is a part of the total. So here the Ahankar is, I am this name and form, I am Deepti is my Ahankar, I am a Vyashti Upadhi. But if the Upadhi is spread, all total, all of it, that's Samashti, totality. Samashti Upadhihi Api. If you say no, he has a Samashti Upadhi, not a Vyashti Upadhi. Krishna has got a Samashti Upadhi. The whole creation is his form. If you say, like we will see in the 11th chapter, Virata Rupa, he says, even if you say it's a Samashti Upadhi, he will be Virajaha, Virataha. His form will be Virat. Having a Virat form, Sthula Bhuta Upadhitvena. Because the Virat form is Sthula, is gross. This is made up of gross elements. The Panchikaranam has happened of the Tanmatras. Remember the whole creation that this right school offers to us? Ishvara with Maya Upadhi has transformed itself into the elements. First, the subtle elements, which were pure. Those pure elements are not contactable. Then these pure elements went through the process of Panchikaranam, and the Pancha Mahabhutas, the Mahabhutas came along, and those Mahabhutas is the five elements that we can, with which the whole creation is made, with which our body is made, our senses are made, sense organs are made, not senses, our senses also are, that is subtle matter. But the physical part of the body is the physical elements that sthula bhuta upadhitvena. Because his identification is with the gross body, a gross form, a gross body cannot know what has got transformed in the sukshma form. A gross cannot know subtle. So sukshma bhuta parinama vishayam, with the topic of what is subtle, means, let me simplify this. If I'm identified with the body, when I see your body, I do not know the subtle, the thought. If I'm identified with the thought, I know the body and the thought. That's what it said here. Totality. If Bhagwan is totality of only gross bodies, Virata Roop, then he cannot know this parinama, sukshma parinama that has happened. He doesn't know that. Maya parinama vishayam cha. And the karana parinama that the creation has come about from Ishvara with Maya, that Maya is the karana parinam which took the transformation to create this world, that parinama of Maya, that also jnanam na sambhavati, if he is a physical form. So as a physical Virat Hiranyak, as a physical Virat Roop, he cannot know the Sukshma Parinama and the Maya Karana Parinama, he cannot have knowledge of. So if he doesn't have knowledge of that, how did he give it to Surya? He cannot have knowledge. Evam, in the same way, Sukshma Bhuta Upadhehe Api. If you say he is a Samashti Sukshma Rupa, he has got a Samashti Upadhi, Sukshma Upadhi, means all our subtle bodies put together, past, present, and future, all the subtle bodies put together. If you say he is that, then Hiran Upadhehe Api Hiranya Garbhasya Tat Karana Maya Parinama Akash Adi Sarga Krama Adi Vishaya Jnana Abhavaha Siddha Eva. Which means if he is of the subtle samashti identification, then he cannot know the subtlest, the karan, which is Maya Parinama. The Hiranya Garbha is subtle, sukshma. Sukshma cannot know the Maya Parinama, Ishvara with Maya, and that Maya Parinami itself was Akash Adi, and Akash Adi happened, therefore much later Surya happened. That knowledge he will not have, so he cannot have Sarvajñatvam. Tasmat, therefore, Ishvara eva. You may have to go through this again and again. Ishvara eva, only Ishvara can have Karana Upadhitvat, Atita Anagata Vartamana Sarva Artha Vishaya Jnanavan Mukhyah Sarvajnah. Only Ishwar who can have Karana Upadhi, which is Maya Upadhi. That is why we say Ishwar with Maya Upadhi brought about creation. Only Ishwar with Maya Upadhi can know the Sukshma, Samashti, Virat, Vyashti, Karan, Vyashti Sukshma, Vyashti Virat, Vyashti Janma, Vyashti Sharira. That Karana Upadhitvat Atita. Atita means past. Anagata, which hasn't yet happened. Vartamana, in the present. सर्व अर्थ विषय ज्ञानवान. ज्ञानवान मीन्स जिस जो ज्ञान है जिसके पास. ज्ञानवान, धनवान. Remember who's a धनवान? Whom do you call धनवान? Somebody
One who
will
has wealth.
One who has wealth. Thank God. Otherwise someone would have said not me. Who is called धनवान? Not me. No. One who has wealth is धनवान. Who is buddhivan? Van and man, okay. Buddhiman?
Who has
buddhi.
person
Who has buddhi.
knowledge.
So that one there, Jnanavan, is referring to the one who has Jnana. That one who has a Jnana is Mukhya Sarvajna. He alone can be absolute Sarvajna. And who is he? He can only rest with Ishvara, whose Upadhi will be Maya. Only in such a case can he have Mukhya Sarvajnatva. In no other case in creation can Sarvajnatvam be established. Therefore, this particular piece of, there are certain bhashyams in the Shastram. Nobody has highlighted this much, but when I read it, I say absolutely important for us, especially when we understand Karam Yoga is impossible without Ishvara Gyan. And we do not know what Ishwar is. We have to go on faith and we believe it. Why is Rama called Ishwar? Krishna called everybody. Shivas and Bhagwan कहते हैं. भगवान और ईश्वर में फर्क नहीं पता. भगवान किसे कहते हैं? ईश्वर किसे कहते हैं? All those questions. Here is a topic of avatar in the 4th chapter of the Gita. And here, with the help of Shankara, doesn't give so much detail about it because his primary purpose is truly only Atma Vidya. There's nothing else he wants to convey. So a lot of portions he skips, which is actually very right. But for us who are struggling with Atma Vidya sometimes, who are intent on our purification, at least attempt, at least be on it, at least know it sincerely. When you understand Ishwaratvam is Sarvajnatvam, they are non-separate. It's not that Bhagwan has Sarvajnatvam. Sarvajnatvam is where there is Bhagwan. That is Ishwar. They are all synonyms. Only Ishwar can have Sarvajnatvam. And he has to also still talk about Nityatvam. That one where you find Sarvajnatvam and Nityatvam. In the next verse, he's going to establish Nityatvam. But coming back to Sarvajnatvam alone, if you say Ishvara has Sarvajnatvam, he knows it all. all our vyavharik religious life, you can modify it in any way because Bhagwan is Ishwar is Sarvagnya. He knows it. हम कहते थे ना बचपन में, I remember one of my very first lessons I remember, moral science. Well, my parents, of course, taught to me. I was really a small girl, and my father said to me, he says, I had a habit of I loved yellow butter at that time. And my parents had limited resources. So I would finish it off. So somehow they wanted me to stop having so much yellow butter. So they said, so they asked me once, and I said, no, no, I have not had karke. Uh, those stories must be alive in your mind. I said, no, no, I have not had. And my father said, even if you say whatever you say, I'll believe. But remember, he's sitting there, sees it all, knows it all. So you always have to be true to that. Don't worry about us, but be true to that. And when he said this, pointing upwards, he said, he always knows. He knows everything. And this is love. All of us have heard this. It's me, nothing special here. On growing up, we have all been told Bhagwan knows all. He is Sarvagnya word we did not know. But in Vyavharik sense, he is a see. He sees it all, he knows it all. Whether we know it or not, he knows it. How does he know it all? How is it possible? How can Shastra just project something and not give us a reason behind it? That is why our Vedic culture is the only culture which focuses equally much on knowledge and also on vyavhar based on that knowledge. So our whole community could have these festivals, and we could have all these, and we have prayers, and we have shama prarthanas. We can ask, we have sakama karmas, we have sakama um, uh, karmas and upasanas, because we can ask. He knows it. He has all records of it. Sarvajnatvam. We can't even conceive in this limited upadhi what that means. And Krishna has told Arjun here, he's a Sarvajna. And what sort of a Sarvajna? He's a Mukhya Sarvajna. Means he's an absolute knower. And as an absolute knower, he knows the past. Yeah, how beautifully it's connected to the verse. He knows the past, he knows the present. He also knows Anagata, which has still not happened. Agata means आ रहा है. अनागता मीन्स जो अभी तक तो आया ही नहीं है, मीन्स फ्यूचर इन अदर वर्ड्स. सर्व अर्थ विषय with respect to all everything. Jnanavan, he is an all knower, sarvajna. And therefore all upasanas, when when you do all these sahasranamas and stotras, and everywhere you have a huge falashruti. Falashruti means Falashruti is what result you'll get, but there is a stuti. Stuti of he is this, she is this, or Navadurga, when you saw Durga Ashtami, Navratri, if you will, any quality in one of the Upanishads in the Upasana portion, he'll say, whatever pray you do of an Ishvara with those qualities imposed on Ishvara, the Upanishad, I forget the verse at the moment, I think it came in the Kena Upanishad only. You will, the devotee, the bhakta, will get those qualities, will imbibe those qualities, will become those qualities. What you worship as. What does it mean? A sarvagnya is only a lakshana. Nityatvam is another one said here. That which is all purnam, by the time Gyan comes to our perception, Ekameva Advityam, and that Advityam is non-separate from here. By the time that comes, that in-between stage and in-between gap is all purification, ekagrata, for which all these karmas and upasanas were helpful, for which Ishvara is there as a Shastra Kalpitam. That was one of the left side. That Ishwar, left side school will not say they have Avarna and Vikshepa. Ishwar is only meant, Avidya doesn't have Avarna and Vikshepa, they will not say. But here you see parinami. These words are, you know what we did in Tattvabodh? That's what Tattvabodh. Tat karana maya parinami. Maya parinami. For all the senior students, that is why creation is maya parinami. That makes akasha adi. Akasha, vayu, agni, apa, prithvi. Sarga, creation begins. Krama adi. Now that krama starts, crossification starts. That gyan Ishvara has. That's why we say he knows it all. So far, okay?
Maybe just a small point I wanted to make. So when you said that these, some people remember their birth, right?
Mhm.
But in this verse, he clearly says he not only remembers his birth, he remembers everyone else's birth also. So doesn't that make him a Sarvajnani? Because we will only remember our birth when we go to the next.
No,
If we are
he said here, no, that there are some people who have taken identification with all other forms, those yogis who have taken identification with other forms also, can also say, I know I have this
But
kind of an
in
abhiman.
Krishna's case, he's saying that he remembers his birth, Arjun's birth, and all the other Jiva's births also.
No,
So isn't that the Sarvajnani?
It is. That's what we are establishing here through the Bhashyam is meant to give us clarity about what is said in the Moolam. So through reason and counter reason, it is coming to the same point. He's establishing the Moolam only. Krishna is Sarvagyani, Sarvagnya. But when you are just told Krishna is Sarvagnya, like it has been told to all of us, we can only have faith in it. And our faith will give results, no doubt, if you believe it. But when you understand and know it, your buddhi is unshaken after that.
Because I also thought about it, but then I came back to the verse where he said, I don't know just I not only know my birth, I know others' birth also.
You're missing the link of thought flow. The thought flow is, what is a bhashyam useful for? There are 2 points here. Krishna is saying, I know them all. Moolam study, we can finish it there. He knows it all. Matter closes. He's Sarvagnya. He said it. Therefore, there's no confusion. We can move on to the next. Why has he taken birth? Paritranaya, Sadhunam, etc. All of that is why Bhashyam completed it. So far, okay?
See.
Now, what we are doing is, how is Ishvara claimed to be Sarvagnya? It's a reasoning, it's yukti. It's reasoning given here. That reasoning is established. Krishna is Sarvagnya. So as Sarvagnya, he knows past, present and future. Therefore, he knows. So in the Moolam study, a lot of yukti is eliminated. Yukti means reasons. For reason, we have Purvapaksha and Siddhanta Prakriya, method. Shastra uses that method to unfold knowledge, clarity, depth.
Okay.
So now we have 2 differences. To establish Krishna is Sarvagnya, we should show how is Krishna Sarvagnya and how is he different from Jiva. Jiva is not Sarvagnya. So we must establish both the points.
Okay.
Clear now?
So that's why he gave the example of Vamadev.
Yes, yes. That as a Vamadev, we could have said Krishna should also be knowing it, but then Vamadev is a Jiva. So as a Jiva, he knows. He gave that example. Anybody else not clear? No, that doesn't need to be explained that Krishna is an Ishvara. It is already, Krishna is giving that word, I know it all. So a Bhashyakar's job is only to explain what he's already giving. He doesn't have to, he's not an original commentator. No, Vedanta is not like a theorem. That is an absolutely incorrect statement. Vedanta is not a theorem, please. A theorem means um, based on theory, you can bring about some practice. Vedanta is a method of destroying avidya, is a knowledge that destroys avidya. So theory can be practiced, and that practice part of it needs theory behind. The practical and the theory go together. But Vedanta is not just restricted to practice, and in fact, Vedanta has nothing to do with practice. It's not karma based at all. It's entirely knowledge based. So, as what knowledge does it give? If you say that is theory, we would differ there to say you can extend it to mean that, but correctly speaking, Vedanta is not theorem. Vedanta is purely vidya, knowledge, with an aim for what? With an aim to destroy avidya. That's it. It has a proper methodology employed to correct the superimpositions that we have done based on avidya. Okay.
Didiji, can I ask one question? So, Mukhya Sarvagyanam would encompass what all qualities?
Everything. That is why
What
we
we
have so many gods, each manifesting as one quality. Whatever quality you want, you can put it there. If you want knowledge, you can have a god. If you want power, you have a god. If you want money, you have a god. If you want beauty, you have a god. You want anything, and they will all get the power from Ishvara. So whatever a jiva desires, anything a jiva can desire, Ishvara has the capacity to fulfill it because he has it all. That's why Bhagavan, if you go back to the Bhashyam, we did in the Sri Bhagavan Uvacha, where Bhagavan Shankara gave us the meaning, Aishwarya, Virya,
Yes,
Yashas, the six qualities. Those six qualities are the primary qualities mentioned.
Okay. So that encompasses
All
Mukhyas.
that what we can't even conceive of. Supposing somebody else, after many generations, another jiva says, I want this also. Bhagwan will give. You can, he says, no, I'll take the birth as per what's required as an avatar, and he will fulfill the wishes as per the. So
Need of the.
we can't even, in our intellect can't fathom.
Okay.
Only an Ishvara can know Ishvara, and there can be only one Ishvara. So to know
Right.
Ishvara, you have to be completely rid of your jivatva. A jiva cannot know Ishvara. A jiva is only, and Ishvara is also not, see, the beautiful part. Ishvara is given to us as all encompassing to be able to purify ourselves. Ishvara itself is not another entity separate from Brahman. Ishvara is Brahman, but Brahman is Nirguna, Nirakar. It's Sagun form. First manifestations is Ishvara. Okay?
So that you can relate to
Yeah,
it.
so that you can relate to it.
Right. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Okay, so Atita Anagata, we'll just finish this and then maybe next week we'll do the next verse. Atita Anagata Vartamana Vishayam Maya Vritti Trayam Ek Eva. Maya Vritti. And this is a separate topic, whether to say that all Maya Vritti is Trigunatmikam or there is only one Maya Vritti. This is another debate somewhere else. We won't have to enter this at this point. He's just mentioned it to say it's a different discussion. Tasya cha, now this Ishvara, who's Mukhya Sarvagnyam, who's an absolute Sarvagnya, that Nitya Ishvarasya Sarvagnyasya Dharma Adharma Adi abhavena. That Nitya Ishvara, who is a Sarvagnya, he doesn't have dharma, adharma. He doesn't have punya, papa. Therefore, in the absence of punya and pap, karma, sanchita karma, janma eva anupapannam atita aneka janmatvam tu durotsaratameva. When this Ishvara, who is Sarvagnya, Nityam, but he has no karma phala. So janma eva anupapannam. Even one birth is not possible in the absence of karma. Then aneka janma to have had, when he says bahuni me vyatitani janmani, bahuni janmani of his, to consider that durotsaratam, ये तो बहुत दूर की बात है. To have many janmas. One janma also, where has he got the material for? To have a birth. Where did he take a birth from? How does he take a birth? It's a rahasya, and that is why it's called avatara rahasya. How does Ishvara take birth? He said before, how does Jiva take birth? Remember the sentence here we just finished? How does Jiva take birth? Punya pap. Karma? Karma arjitain. कर्मों को अर्जित करके. We saw here कर्म अर्जितानि देह ग्रहणानि. अज्ञानिनः, अज्ञानियों का है. But who is Ishwar? He is Sarvagnya. He is Nitya. So he can't have dharma adharma. So if he doesn't have dharma adharma, then how is his birth possible? तथा च जीवत्वे सर्वज्ञ अनुपपत्तिः. As a jiva, sarvajnatvam is not possible. Ishvaratve cha, even Ishvaratvam is not possible. Deha grahana anupapattihi iti. Shanka dvayam. These two doubts with reference to Deha prapti of Ishvara. How does Deha grahan is not even possible for Ishvara? Then how is it come about? That Shanka dvayam, these twofold Shankas, pariharan, to remove those doubts. Nityatva apakshayasya api, nityatva pakshasya api pariharam aha. Now, nityatva paksha, to say that he is nitya and still takes a birth. How is it possible? Birth means, by birth itself, it means anitya. What is born will die. Janma itself, we just next verse, he's defining what is Janma. We'll do this in the next class. So, 6th verse is going to now address Nityatva. 5th verse address Sarvajnatva. Ishvara is Sarvajna. Ishvara is also Nitya. And when you combine these two meanings, reflect on it a bit, you know, at least for your own understanding, it gets clearer that Ishvara is the sole support of all forms of life. Therefore, Nityatvam is to remove this doubt of Ishvara being Anitya, is the 6th verse, which we'll take up next time. Okay. Any other clarification, doubt? I hope the class is clear. This topic is clear so far. It's still to continue, so there'll be more knowledge added. Next verse also, next two verses more, and then together, when you will see it, your picture will be complete. Abhi picture baki hai. There's only one aspect that has completed itself. Sarvajnatvam at least is clear. relatively. Rest, of course, you'll have to go over it. But no? Okay, I'm presuming it's clear. Neetuji, can you end the class?
Yes, Diptiji. सर्वेषां स्वस्तिर्भवतु, सर्वेषां शान्तिर्भवतु, सर्वेषां पूर्णं भवतु, सर्वेषां मङ्गलं भवतु, सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः, सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः, सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु, मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत्। स्वस्ति प्रजाभ्यः परिपालयन्ताम् न्यायेन मार्गेण महीं महिषा, गोब्राह्मणेभ्यः शुभमस्तु नित्यम्। लोकाः समस्ताः सुखिनो भवन्तु। काले वर्षतु पर्जन्यः, पृथ्वी सस्यशालिनी, देशोऽयं शोकरहितः, ब्राह्मणाः सन्तु निर्भयाः। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। धन्यवाद दीप्ति जी।
Dhanyavad everyone.
Recording stopped. Thank you, Dipti ji. Hari Om.
Hari Om Ji. Thank you.
Thank you, Dipti ji. Hari Om.
Hari Om. Thank you. Hari Om everyone. Hari Om. Thank you. Thank you.